My name is Kyle, and I live in a haunted house in Edmonton, Alberta. Well, at least my mom and brother thought so at first, but I was a little skeptical that the house was haunted until something happened to me personally. I'm 19 now, but this story takes place when I was 17 in the middle of August. First off, I'll list the events that happened to my mom and brother, predating the event that happened to me. My mom and brother have both had cases of sleep paralysis in this house, which had never happened before we moved in. They both told me their experiences went like this. They felt like someone was slowly pushing down or sitting on their chest while they were sleeping and would wake up with no one on top of them and being unable to speak or move, which is quite scary when you think about it, being helpless like that. Another thing that happened to both my mom and brother was that while they were sleeping or on their bed, something would suddenly out of the blue yank off the covers and scare the absolute shit out of them. My brother has had this happen to him multiple times, whereas my mom has only had it happen once to her. My brother also experienced the same thing as I did, but 2 weeks before I had it happen to me, and he didn't tell me this until the day I saw what he did. Now that you know the predating events, I'll tell my story. It was a weekend, and my mom had left to take my brother to soccer while I was at home in my room playing video games with my buddy. After we had stopped playing, I turned Discord off after saying goodbye to my friend and turned my PC off and sat on the bed, opened up YouTube to watch some of my favorite YouTubers as they had just uploaded a video. While I'm laying on my bed, I hear the dishes in the sink in the kitchen down the hall start rattling, and then I begin to hear the cabinets being opened and closed. Me being stupid and thinking it's just my mom back from soccer with my brother when they had just left 30 minutes ago, and soccer usually takes like 2 hours. I peek my head out of the door and down the hall to see if it's them. To my shock, it wasn't them. Instead, I see a black mist-like shadow person standing at the end of the hall that leads into the kitchen. In complete awe of what I'm seeing, I just stare at the things, unable to process what is in front of me. After what seemed like a minute or two, I dip back into my room and slam the door shut and sit against it. I remembered my phone was on my bed and slid it over to text my mom and ask her what the fuck I should do. She tells me to get the hell out of the house and go stay with friends until she gets back home with my brother. So I do that. I look outside my door and down the hallway to see if it's clear. Lucky for me, it was. Gathering my courage and grabbing my longboard, I book it down the hall and out the door of my house, grabbing my shoes on the way and stopping on the driveway to put them on. As soon as I had them on my feet, I popped my board on the ground and started off almost wiping out in my hurry. And over to the friend's house who I was previously playing games with before this shit hit the fan. Once I get there, he lets me in and we sit down. I tell him what I saw. To my surprise, he believes me. And he tells me that one time while he was staying the night at my house, he saw what I saw in the kitchen. While he was waking up in the night on the couch, which is in the living room next to the kitchen, he saw a dark figure standing in the kitchen, staring down the hall towards my family's rooms, including my own. Apparently, he thought it was a dream since he was still half asleep and groggy as hell, so he didn't say anything about it, and the next day just went on having fun. Once my mom had gotten home and we felt okay since we had our numbers, we decided to enter the house. As soon as we were inside, we could tell that someone or something had been here, since all of the dishes in the sink were stacked on the counter beside the sink and all the cabinets were hanging wide open, and the dishes inside had not been stacked on the counter as well. We decided not to stay the night there and stayed at our cousin's who lived 15 minutes away in Sherwood Park. When he got home, everything was back to normal except the lights in the house were on. Ever since that happened, I am a firm believer in ghosts and the supernatural. I think if that happened to me, I would be too.